Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We live, we live, we live. I brought the books with me this time. We are so live, fly Nubian queens, fly Nubian kings. Make sure you log on flynubianqueen.com and flynubiankingstv.com. I am Aaron Smith, the rapping professor. It is a beautiful, beautiful day, and today, I don't know what was on my face. I was like, what was on my face? We're going to talk that talk today. I am reporting live from the office. And we are going to talk this talk today. I promise you. I got the books, and a lot of times people were talking about distractions. See, a lot of stuff was coming up because, a lot of people trying to distract people from what was really consistently going on. And I said, one of those issues that we talk about is, let me take this on, let me get my mind right. Eugenics. And I said, let me get some of the facts up here, because too oftentimes, we be so into the Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, police shooting everybody, Matrix, that we sometimes, we miss what's actually going on. We miss the fact that there are people trying to kill African people worldwide consistently from the time of the Hyksos invasion, right? From Alexander the Not So Great to Christopher Columbus to King Leopold in the Congo, enriching the Belgians with 10 million acres of land, and he declared himself king sovereign, of over 1 million Africans in the Congo. Like, we don't realize the history of forced sterilization, in Africa, in India, in Kansas, and California, even the United States, right? So I said, if this is the case, if there's any connection between scientific racism, eugenics, Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood, the KKK, the Nazi Party, and the situation with the extermination of 12 million people, 6 million of which are Jews. I don't want to skip 6 million people dying. I don't know why some people do that. That's just insensitive and ahistorical. But yeah, so we're going to talk eugenics today. And I just wanted to start by giving some facts about Christopher Columbus. One of the facts was this: according to one estimate, John De La Casas wrote about Columbus. The genocide and disease wiped out 3 million of the 3.5 million Tainos. 85% were already dead when smallpox arrived in 1518. You have a man who wrote in his own diary, talking about Columbus now. He said, these people were so docile, to paraphrase, and he said, with 50 men, we could subjugate the whole island. He said, with 50 men, we could subjugate the whole island. So there was a recognition of a difference in nature. There's a recognition of a difference in the way that you perceive other human beings and beings. If you're looking at people thinking, with 50 people, we could subjugate the whole island. I said, wait a minute. It's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these people. What makes you think with 50 people, you could subjugate 1 million, unless the million was different in nature than the 50 that you was planning to bring, Christopher Cologne, Christopher Columbus, right? So obviously, I think it was Ashra Kwesi, the master teacher. He said, someone knows something about you that you don't seem to know about yourself. Someone knows something about you that you don't seem to know about yourself. Malcolm said, history is best served to reward all research. So when I get in my class, I teach a class called Tupac and the Hip Hop Revolution. And one of the things that I always ask my students, I say, I'll ask y'all this. I say, what's the first book? First book ever written. That's what I start with. Like, first day I'm asking this. What's the first book ever written? flynubianqueen.com for melanated women like you, and flynubiankingtv.com. Make sure you log on. We are making sure that this is a growing network for men, and we have all the information that you need. And I just want you to understand something, that this is the new media. This is the new media. Salute to Boyce Watkins and all the good people on Fly Nubian Queen and Fly Nubian King TV.com, flynubianqueen.com, flynubianking.com. But this is where people go to get the truth that they will never get anywhere else. I remember one time during the presidential election, they had Donald Trump's name in the lower third, right, for about 20 hours. I mean, roughly. I mean, maybe with a few exceptions, but for the most part, his name was in. I said, look at this free publicity. Look at this, campaign assistance. Look, and then they got people like Tulsi Gabbard right now, who, according to many polls, is ahead of Kamala Harris. But they keep putting Biden in it, like Biden even running, right? So, okay, back to the plan. So I asked, what's the first book? They tell me Gilgamesh. They tell me the Iliad. They tell me the Bible. Right? Then I say, you ever heard of a book called The Maxims of Ptahhotep? And I got a couple slides up here. I want to just make sure I get all my dates right. So The Maxims of Ptahhotep, written about 2880 BCE, right? So that's before the zero. Then you get to the zero. Then you got to go to like 1,000 before you reach what Dr. Molefe Kete Asante calls the first voice of intelligence from the Greeks. You talk about Homer and the Iliad, and like Dr. Molefe Kete Asante says, it wasn't deep stuff at that, right? So here you have, like I said before, a course, what they call classes. They call courses. A course is a block on a pyramid. The last course we take is called a capstone course, right? The triangular top of a pyramid. So you have an international educational structure based and built, pun intended, primarily and solely upon African ingenuity and architectural and engineering genius. About Ivy Leagues to community colleges, they're all using the term courses and capstone courses, and ain't no capstones in Greece unless you're talking about some stolen obelisk or Tekkenu from ancient Kemet, right? Like, this is, if they only knew, I should quit, if there's something about you, there's something about you that makes them have melanin conferences all over the world, and you ain't never there. And they trying to make it in us disappear, giving us bleach for our skin and more chemicals for our hair. The rapping professor, nobody does it better. And say, I'm so into this consciousness, how it boosts my confidence. I want liberation, and I'm not fearing the consequence. Learning every night a lot of amazing black accomplishments. Africa for Africans. To me, man, that's just common sense. The Maxims of Ptahhotep. So if 2/3 of human history occurred on the continent of Africa, and you get into a typical world history class, and they start you at Greece, and then not only omit, I call it oppression through omission. Remember that. Oppression through omission. Not only omit 2/3 of human history, but make the last third the beginning. This is the epitome of academic criminality. This is psychological warfare, especially when you're erasing the contributions. But somebody has done the studying to the point where they can recreate this Planet of the Apes scenario. Not Charlton Heston, not the Marky Mark. The Planet of the Apes scenario where you have, people coming to your planet, making you think that you're the foreigner or the refugee. Shout out to Katrina. And they say they created everything. They say the only good humans are dead humans. If y'all remember the movie, right? Only to find out at the end of the movie, damn you all out, right, that you on your own planet the whole time, and this racist, militaristic, deceitful, master deceivers, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, this race of master deceiving, militaristic, these people had lied, took that which you created, called it their own. They controlled the guns. They controlled the image of God. They had people stuffed in museums. Word to Sarah Bartman, right? And they made you think that this land was made by me for me, right? So they tricked the people. I said, wow, look at this. If this isn't an analogy for the role of the African in America, who is trapped in the wilderness of North America without the true knowledge of himself, and if he could only understand who he was, he might recognize, as some of the supreme lessons recite, that he is the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, the father of civilization, God of the youth. I said, man, it takes a whole lot to keep people distracted and deceived. I mean, I need every type of Kool-Aid flavored vanilla Dutch. I need every type of K2 and laboratory created synthetic drug. I need every type of worshiping of gentlemen's club stripper culture. I need every type of paying for blood diamonds and spending the street school us to spend our money foolish, as Jay-Z said, right? Bond with jewelers and watch for intruders, right? And then Meek Mill later said, spending money on jewels. Jewelers said, we a fool. He thought this was cool, right? Left Hollywood. So you got to have a lot of training. It took a long time. It took generations to make people this ignorant, this materialistic, this susceptible to deception and distraction. So they say, you got to keep it on. You got to keep the pressure on, because if you just let attrition take place, they might find their way back. They say, what's he going to find around the corner at the end of the Planet of the Apes movie? And the other, they said, his destiny. Any of my movie buffs, you know what I'm talking about, when he saw the Statue of Liberty capsized on the side of the beach. The line before that was, what is he going to find over there? And his destiny. The little verse shall be last, last shall be first, right? The meek going to inherit, right? Bang, bang, gang, gang, dream chasers. So this whole idea about some people knowing that they're not reproducing in sufficient numbers to maintain control on the planet. Demographic winter. Some of y'all seen it, right? So what are we dealing with when we talk about eugenics then? What man, I couldn't see y'all chat. I'm sorry, now I can see y'all chatting. Ooh, my bad. People was chatting. I didn't know what happened. But we back. So when we talk about the first book, I just try to take them out of the matrix long enough so they can see that there's something that they don't know, so they can have an opportunity, you know, to get out and get that right pill. Because if you think that what you're learning is the truth, then you're never going to believe that. I think Lauryn Hill said, truth comes, we can't hear it. We've been programmed to fear it. I thought that was a powerful line. Truth comes, we can't hear it. We've been programmed to fear it. So when someone tells you there's no such thing as a polygenetic theory, and that all people come from one ancient African root, it turns that whole Blumenbach hierarchy to racism thing on its head. But everybody knows once you tell a lie, you got to keep telling that lie. Well, some of y'all lying about lying. But seriously, if you tell a lie, you got to stick to it. So imagine you told a lie so big that you said that the people who you learned everything from didn't know anything. And then you came over and talking about it was a dark continent. I think it was Constantine Divalny. I got the quote. Constantine Divalny was the one who saw the harem of Ket, the Sphinx, when it was still intact, when the nose wasn't blown off. And he was the one that was quoted saying, in other words, the ancient Egyptians were true Negroes of the same type as all native-born Africans. That being so, we can see how their blood, mixed for several centuries with that of the Greeks and the Romans, must have lost the intensity of its original color. While retaining nonetheless the imprint of its original mold. Just think, Divalny said, that this race of black men today, our slave and the object of our scorn, is the very race to which we owe our arts, sciences, and even the use of speech. Just imagine, finally, that it is in the midst of people who call themselves the greatest friends of liberty and humanity that one has approved the most barbarous slavery and questioned whether black men have the same kind of intelligence as whites. He said, ain't this crazy that these black men that we call our slaves are the very people to whom we owe the arts, sciences, and even the use of speech? The only white man said this. White man said this. He won't be on Fox News. They're not going to quote that one. But there's something about, if all else fails, kill him. There's something to be said about, if all else fails, we're going to have to kill him. So when we look at eugenics, it's almost like, you know, the last stage in the game. And I talked about that FBI document last time. I'm reading from that. My fly Nubian queens, make sure I get it right. Get your life. Log on to flynubianqueen.com, network for melanated women like you. Flynubiankingtv.com, growing network for men. Just text Queens to 31996 to receive your alerts, your special, your notifications. Subscribe, hit the subscribe, the like, and the share button. Subscribe, like, and share. I like that you share and subscribe. And if you subscribe, then they'll be notified so you can like. And that's right, we're gonna ride. FlyNubianQueen.com, FlyNubianKingTV.com. If you want to manage your business better, then go to flynubianmoney.com. You want to get money is Fly Nubian Money. Business, well, you get your business right, you do get your money right. You can't like secure the bank. Flynubianbusiness.com. But back to this talk. I was talking about the COINTELPRO document, so I actually brought the document up today. I said I wanted to read from the actual document so you could see how people be thinking about us in this King Herod way. They thinking about our potential. So they'll lock up a Tupac every city he goes. Harassment through arrest. Psychological police action. Shouts out to all my political prisoners. Free the land, free them all. And all of them that mastered that 10-point program from the Black Panther Party of self-defense. If you only knew how fixated they were on you, it would make a lot of other things make more sense to you. Not just appropriation, I'm saying. So listen to this. Nationalist activities. They interviewed the counterintelligence to coordinate in this process. This agent will be responsible for the periodic progress letters being requested, but each agent working this type of case should participate in the formulation of counterintelligence operations. The goals for maximum effectiveness of the counterintelligence program and to prevent wanted effort, low-range goals are being set. This is the goals. Listen to the goals now. To prevent the coalition of militant Black nationalist groups. In unity, there is strength. They sound like us. A truism that is no less valid for all its triteness. An effective coalition of Black nationalist groups might be the first step toward a real, this is in quotes, Mau Mau in America. So the same way they was watching Haiti, the same way they watched the Mau Mau revolt, the same way they watched the Zulus. Anytime there's some Black, the same way they watched the Maroon colonies, anytime some Black people stand up, there's some evil people waiting in the wings that make their bread and butter controlling Black people and subjugating and exploiting and keeping Black people ignorant. They get real nervous. So here they're saying these Black people might be self-determined and might have a Mau Mau revolution type situation if they get together. So we can't let the East and the West get together. We can't let the Bloods and the Crips get together. We can't let the US organization of Panthers get together. We can't let, okay, so listen to this. This is another goal. To prevent the rise of a Black Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant Black nationalist movement. People say to me, you think it's some man sitting behind a curtain? You're talking about a conspiracy like somebody's really just sitting there all day trying to, yes, people dedicated their lives to this work. J. Edgar Hoover did this for 50 plus years. Started with Garvey before there was an FBI. So yes, I don't think so. I know so. I know there's grown men right now that are watching this video in attempts to make sure that you don't benefit from what I'm saying and make sure that people like me don't give all the due props and credit and respect to great men like Boyce Watkins. They want the young to try to come against those that are only a couple years older than them. They want to exploit these petty differences, but I'll continue. Shout out to Boyce Watkins, nothing but love and respect. They ain't gonna get us. They ain't gonna get us. So listen to this. Prevent the rise of a Black Messiah who can unify and electrify the militant Black nationalist movement. I'm reading from the FBI document. Malcolm X might have been such a Messiah. He is the martyr of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elijah Muhammad all aspire to this position. Elijah Muhammad is less of a threat because of his age. King could have been a real contender for this position should he have abandoned his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines. This is the FBI talking about King's obedience to white liberal doctrines. Nonviolence, they put in parentheses, and embrace Black nationalism. So they said the devil said that King could be a greater threat if he abandoned these white liberal doctrines and then adopted a more Black nationalist perspective. The devil said that. They said the devil know the word better than, okay, man. So I say all the time, some people want to be allies more than they want to be African. And embrace Black nationalism. It says Carmichael has the necessary charisma. Somebody said that about me. Say that charisma, swag, drip, came through dripping. Okay. Yeah, and that's dangerous because then the young people, they gravitate toward that humor and that energy and that vibe. And then next thing you know, they trying to take my, videos down. So I can't wait till they start taking my videos down because I know we on it. So I'm going to say, Boyce, we moving. Brother Boyce, we moving. Oh, man, take that. I'm like Diddy, take that. I'm like playing spades with another video. Back to what I was saying. So Carmichael has the necessary charisma to be a real threat in this way. They fear the ones that can make it cool. That's why I always say I started off poor with plans to endure. But now I'm on tour and spreading love to all. I gotta go hard because the facts is so raw. I'm like, shout out from these hot back blocks off North Broad. Don't care who ain't feeling us. Hate can't enter us. Soon I'll be capping down like who really is us. Coming up, mind on our freedom. Be prepared for us. About to go and change the world. So they scared of us. Just know we royalty. Ooh, kill them softly. They try to put me in a box. That's where they lost me. Okay, let's get back. Bars, rapping Professor Aaron Smith. You can Google me. But point is, another point is to prevent violence on the part of Black nationalist groups. They always say to us, oh, do you forgive them? Son laying in the street, the news media / CIA agent provocateur come running up. Do you forgive them? They don't never ask them white folks that. You never see the news media You know, after some gangbanger assassinates some white person, talk about, do you forgive him? Body's not even cold yet. Do you forgive him? Do you forgive him? What's your plans? How you going to react? No, we don't do that. We don't do that. Okay, so it says, this is of primary importance to prevent the violence and is, of course, a goal of our investigative activity. It should also be a goal of the counterintelligence program. Through counterintelligence, it should be possible to pinpoint potential troublemakers, right? And neutralize them. Neutralizing the COINTELPRO documents was tantamount to assassination. They neutralized Medgar Evers. They neutralized Fred Hampton. They neutralized Dr. King, or created the climate to neutralize Dr. King. They worked to neutralize Malcolm X. You know, they neutralized Eleanor Bumpurs. They neutralized people. Neutralize them before they exercise their potential for violence. So sending an agent provocateur like the Asian Aoki who was with the Black Panthers, they said he brought the guns. Then it turned out they saying he worked for the FBI. How you gonna bring the guns, talk about we should go shoot, and then we go outside, we all get arrested but you, and you cooperating with the FBI like William O'Neill in the Panther 21 case after setting Fred Hampton up? I'm good right here with the camera. Me, the camera, and the books. I don't need none of your security detail, because last I checked, every time y'all send somebody for security, they coming straight from the Bureau. And if you changed, and if you different, if you changed, and if you different, why in the hell is J. Edgar Hoover's name on the building? Why would his name still be? Well, the first thing you would do is find one of them sisters that became an agent or something, even if she's not the most conscious, you know. Like King Alfred praying, I see you on there. King, you need to, we're gonna talk that talk today. Prevent militant Black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability. We've been talking this talk about the assassination of the character of the Black man. We just had a precedent right now. We had a man that had been dead for 10 years who was tried in a court of public opinion in 1 week when the FBI, the ATF, and the DA couldn't get Michael Jackson for 15 years. And last I checked, there's people every day that did stuff that get off. And you know how we treat them? Like they're innocent. Unless it's OJ. They wasn't. But they say, again, they play by different rules when it's us. Jockey syndrome. That's what they call it, right? Back when all the jockeys were black, and they changed the rules. Lou Alcindor dunk. They say we don't outlaw the dunk. Black people start dancing in the end zone in football. Other people can't dance so well. They want to outlaw dancing. AI had the long shorts and the braids, and people started catching on to that. They try to make people wear suits. You know, David Stern with his fashion issues. As Nas said, prevent the militant Black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability. So I wouldn't be surprised if 20 years from now, a Freedom of Information Act document revealed that the slanderous term Hotep as a pejorative, the ancient African term of peace, talking about that Ma'at principle of balance, truth, harmony, reciprocity. I wouldn't be surprised if that was funneled through an agency to make Hotep a pejorative, like a negative term, because they've done this before. They've used our brilliance and our beauty and our genius against us by discrediting them to their separate segments of the community. So they are saying explicitly, we will go in and separate them. We will make sure we minimize the potential to gain respectability of these potentially paradigm shifting, what do they call them? Troublemakers? I don't know what they call them. I know I want to be one, whatever they call it. They said, okay. But yeah, since the real threats, that's one thing they call them. So the real threats, they want to make sure they assassinate their character. So whenever you see a negative news story, you got to ask a couple questions. It might just be facts, but it might be the agency. Might be some alphabet boys doing the work that they've been doing for the last 40, 50, 60 years. Okay, it says the goal of discrediting Black nationalists must be handled tactically in 3 ways. You must discredit these groups and individuals to first the responsible Negro community. Second, they must be discredited to the white community. I'm gonna stop right there because I gotta go to a different document, but you get it. You get it. So let's talk this, they trying to kill us talk. Let's talk this King Alfred, because this is what they don't want us to talk about. Because I was thinking about all the popular stories today, and I was like, what's the thing they would least like me to talk about? Because that's what I want to talk about. I want to start from ground zero. They might expect me to talk about R. Kelly. They might want me to talk about Michael Jackson, and I have, and I will. But I thought to myself today, how can I be the most field Negro, Nat Turner, Martin Delaney? Like what? How can I just be like, I'm not doing what y'all want me to do, and everything you want me to do, I'm doing something different. FlyNubianQueen.com. Make sure you log on. FlyNubianKingTV.com. Growing network for men. Text Queens to 31996 to receive your text alerts and special notifications. Make sure you take at least 1 second. One second to like, share, subscribe, keep it live. Check out the Fly Nubian Queen gear. Yeah, we're here at the apparel shop. It's shopfnq.com. Now let's get into these bombs we are about to drop regarding eugenics. Because some people say that's in the past. You know, they say Margaret Sanger's, Margaret Sanger's in the past, but then you see Hillary Clinton. You could say Hillary Clinton celebrates Margaret Sanger. You could type that in on YouTube, and she says that she loves Margaret Sanger, to paraphrase, her tenacity and her vision. And I said, wait a minute, what was Margaret Sanger's vision? Because one of the quotes Margaret Sanger was known for was saying the most merciful thing that a large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. Sound like somebody off to me. If I go out talking like that, DIFUS, CHS, all of them, they're gonna try to take my whole family from me. I can't make that quote today. I probably can't make that quote on here and say it's for me. If I didn't say it's Margaret Sanger, they might try to say it's not, abiding by the community standards of YouTube. Like, that'd be problems. How you allowed to talk like this? How you allowed to talk like this? Okay, no, yeah. Let's talk about Margaret Sanger. So this peace plan. We need to talk about the peace plan. We talk about the King Alpha plan too. But listen to this, because I like to give chapter and verse and let the people know where we getting all this from, right? Because people always say, where's that from? Where's that from? And they had the birth control journals. I want to read a little quote for you. It says, it seems to me from my experience where I have been in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas, that while the colored Negroes, I never heard that term in my life. Can we take a break right there? Is there any other type of Negro? What was a colored Negro? Colored Negro? The colored Negroes have great respect. Their arrogance has always been our greatest asset. The fact that they even use terms like colored Negro, that's always been the reason why we were able to do the cakewalks and sing about following the drinking gourd and wading in the water in the presence of the slave owner, is because they were so arrogant that they never would have thought that we were there strategizing when we were sewing quilts, and escape routes and the Gullah people. The fact that they underestimate us is one of our greatest assets. So keep talking colored Negro, keep thinking we inferior like Jefferson and Lincoln did. Keep it up. Because if you ever really caught on, they might try to really King Alfred plan the whole situation. So we don't want none of that. Colored Negroes have great respect for white doctors. They can get closer to their own members and more or less lay their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstitions, and doubts. It's Margaret Sanger talking about us. They do not do this with the white people. And if we can train the Negro doctor, remember Hillary Clinton said they're super predators, we gotta bring them to heel boy, right? So here we got Margaret Sanger. I guess they're birds of a effed up feather, right? They do not do this with the white people, be ourselves, totally take off that mask that, we wear the masks, right? And for good reason, obviously, because y'all sitting there talking like this sometimes. You gotta be careful who we bond with, right? So it says, to train the Negro doctor at the clinic, he can go among them with enthusiasm and with knowledge, which I believe will have far-reaching results amongst the colored people. His work, in my opinion, should be entirely with the Negro profession and the nurses, hospitals, social workers, as well as the county's white doctors. So he's saying the white doctors should work with the Negro physicians, but he should only serve his population. His success will depend upon his personality and his training by us. Margaret Sanger. She's not even a doctor, but she feels so entitled and privileged and so superior to somebody without any just cause that she feels like she could train a doctor. But the personality was critical. That's why, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in 1995, long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Black man, get all trained. Some of y'all remember that. But I remember he was saying, the minister was saying that once you show some promise, once you show some swag, some charisma, once you show you got some book knowledge, they try to draw you out. They try to make you an offer. They try to take you to Gethsemane, They say, oh, this could be yours if you just bow down to Satan, right? They try to play you. They play you like that. They try it. So Margaret Sanger saying we need somebody who got the book smarts, right? The book smarts, but we need somebody with the personality so that we can use the African-American genius and the African-American affability and charisma for the benefit of white terror and insecurity and fragility and jealousy. I don't say supremacy. So they want a charismatic, intelligent black person as their weapon of war against African people and the liberation of African people and the United States of Africa. This is powerful. So this means in the position I'm sitting, with the jokes I'm making and the bars I'm spitting, and these books behind me, oh, wouldn't you love to have had it? No, you ain't getting me. I'm reading. I know how they play. Let's keep this party going. This is what they don't want us talking about on the minister. So they want the black doctor. Now they want the black minister. Shouts out to that documentary. What's it? About the Mississippi Sovereignty Commission, right? Mississippi Sovereignty Commission was that spy agency that the FBI was working with, and the CIA and everybody was working with the black people on the ground to try to mess up the situation, with the NAACP and others. And they had black ministers who would take the last little bit of money from some of these black people and then go out and take pictures of their license plates and then go get a check from the government, turn all our information in. Mississippi Sovereignty Commission. Mississippi Sovereignty Commission was the spy agency that used a bunch of black people against a bunch of black people. Watch this documentary and look it up. Yeah, Margaret Sanger, I said it, Hillary Clinton's hero. She admired her tenacity and her vision. That's right. I hope they are coming for me, because if they don't, I'm doing something wrong. They should be coming for you. Ask yourself why they so cool with you. You ever somebody come and talk to you about some nonsense, some gossip, and they be like, yo, so-and-so said something about you. And then you look at them and say, why'd they feel so comfortable telling you? Facts. If you don't got no dossier, you ain't doing nothing right today. If you know everybody that tried to free us, whether it was through singing, dreaming about holding hands with white kids, still get a bullet through the neck, you can have a white mom, go to Harvard, and then still get death threat. Like, if they not threatening, if you're not threatening them, I hope you really sitting by the door. I hope you got a master plan. Because if you like 50, 60, 70 years old, ain't nobody ever thought twice to hold you back, then maybe you ain't, let me stop right there. Okay, so the ministers, exactly what I said, right? The minister's work is Margaret Sanger. Now listen, I'm going to tell you where it's coming from. I'm commenting on what's called the Negro Project. This is a letter that Margaret Sanger wrote to Dr. Clarence Gamble, December 10th, 1939. Some people need that. Some people are like, oh, where he getting that? This is a meme. No. Dr. Clarence Gamble is a letter written by Margaret Sanger to Dr. Clarence Gamble, something called the Negro Project, commenting on the Negro Project, right? Without Negroes being involved in the planning, just like with the Berlin Conference, right? Cut it up like a big cake. December 10th, 1939. Hillary Clinton's hero, but some of y'all was with her. So let me stop. The minister's work is also important in that he should be trained perhaps by the Federation as to our ideals. They should let this mind that is in the devil be in, okay. By the Federation to our ideals and the goal that we hope to reach. We do not want word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. We do not want the word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. It seems like there's nothing the devil hates more than those rebellious colored Negroes. Colored Negro. Your t-shirt says colored Negro. No, but seriously, I see that. So I always say, I like to tell the young people, you don't owe. I'm not on Michelle Obama's tip with that going low, high, low, high spade joke or whatever. I say, if somebody disrespects you, you almost have an obligation. You almost have an obligation. I call it ancestral mandate. AM. Every day you wake up in the morning, you see the clock says AM. Don't think about what they talking about. Ain't no more reading none of that. I see AM. I say Harriet died. I say Ella strived. I say Martin Luther King and Malcolm and Megas. I say that Queen and Zinga and Ya Asante. I said people done marched men into battle and led nations and took the head off the French like Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Boukman Duddy. I say it's an ancestral mandate. Every day you get up, you better have some fire in your heart and your spirit. Stop playing with people. You see anybody playing with you? They write all kind of documents, having all kind of meetings, dedicating their lives to suppressing you and making sure that you don't come into the knowledge of yourself and be your true self. So your whole life should be dedicated to being your true self and learning about yourself and liberating yourself. It makes sense. The rules of energy, right? Ain't that one of the rules, laws of matter as far as the energy? You gotta be, you can't stop or start. You gotta, equal, opposite energy. You get all that, man. Some of y'all done been to school more than me. So you got the energy coming this way, it ain't gonna stop unless something comes that way. That's why you see these books like that. So they want to do scientific racism. They want to do eugenics. They want to do lynching, convict leasing, right? UNIA, Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods and Earths, the Black church tradition in terms of the liberation theology of James Cone and the lynching tree, and the Deacons for Defense, and Robert F. Williams, and Martin Delaney, and Bishop McNeil Turner, and the Red Letter Right to Be Well. I'm smacking them back. Some of y'all know I'm going to play the game. I'm going to get a check. I'm going to get out of my face, man. We don't want the word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. Some of y'all must not have kids. Like somebody talking like that, I'm like, oh, you done. We done here. We done here. If I'm with me and mine, like Martin Delaney said, I need to read that quote too. I'm gonna get that quote up there too. Let me pause for the calls real quick because Martin Delaney, I get hyped. Okay, Fly Nubian Queen TV. Look at me, I'm hyped. FlyNubianQueen.com. FlyNubianKingTV.com. Text Queens to 31996. So we're talking that talk today. You'll get your alerts, get your text messages, and please take a second to like, share, and subscribe. Keeping it live. No, it's good to have that kind of energy. And it's good to smile while we get this consciousness and share. Because sometimes it's just, they say that empathy is like air, it's to the lungs. Wait, empathy to the spirit is what air is to the lungs. When you see somebody else fired up, it's like, thank you. Thank you. Young boy ain't sipping on no lean. Young man ain't trying to make white people feel comfortable, even if they stomping on his head and shooting his people. Like, no. Where they do that at, man? Like, we off that now. The one thing this generation has is the fact that they don't care. And we're going to make sure we find a way to utilize that and channel that. Let me get this Martin Delaney thing up real quick for y'all. But yeah, we got to find a way. If they so reckless and careless and brave, if flipped the right way, we got to use that. Y'all ain't scared of nothing? Well, let me teach you about somebody named Martin Delaney and what he said, about the Second Amendment when he was talking about his children. I just talked about the children thing. That made me think of something. I'll make sure I find that for you. So who's in the chat? The Real Deal. Okay, shouts out Ramel Harris. Shouts out Tammy Holloway. Shouts out to all of y'all. Because I just thought to myself, I said, what's the one thing they do not want us to talk about? And I said, we got to talk about eugenics. Because I kid you not, I be on the college campuses, I see the black people with the Planned Parenthood shirts, and I be like, slick or stupid, do they really know? I be like, do they know? And I'm not even talking, here's the thing, this got nothing to do with pro-choice, pro-life. I'm completely outside of that debate in this critique. Because if another group wanted to have that discussion, like some black women's group, they want to talk about the rights of reproduction, and I have nothing to say about you. My thing is, the apple don't fall but so far. So I'm like, what is going on in the world where we championing? I'm gonna find it. I'll get it for y'all. But the point is, we got enough eugenics to talk about anyway. Eugenics gonna take us maybe tomorrow we can start with Martin Delaney. That'd be a good one. I'll remember. If I don't, y'all remind me tomorrow. Some of y'all be on here. I got love for y'all. Okay, so being Margaret Sanger, Michael Higgins, Margaret's father, extremism was not just political. Several days after the death of her 4-year-old brother Henry. This is what y'all don't know. This is stuff that don't be in the memes. Shout out to Boyce Watkins, FlyNubianKingsTV.com, Fly Nubian Queens, because I'm giving up the game on a whole nother level now. Because I done read the biographies up. Right? Listen to this. This is Margaret Sanger. This is No Gods, No Masters by Bob Perry. It says, Michael Higgins, Margaret's father, his extremism was not just political. Several days after the death of her 4-year-old brother Henry, Margaret accompanied her father on a late-night mission to the cemetery where Henry had been buried. There, Higgins, Margaret Sanger's father, dug up the boy's corpse, formed a plaster of Paris form of his head and shoulders, and used the mold to create a bust of Henry that he presented to his wife. How sick. Latasha, thank you. Teach, brother. I'm trying my best. And I appreciate the donation, and I appreciate everybody supporting, because like the other person said, they coming for you. All you can do, like everybody live a long life, longevity has its place. And I'm not worried about that now. I just want to do God's will, right? So Margaret Sanger's dad takes young Margaret Sanger to the cemetery to dig up her dead 4-year-old brother, make a plaster of Paris cast of the boy's head and shoulders, and brings it as a gift to the wife. That means they all sick. Ain't nobody at no point in this chain of command was like, can we talk? to a therapist, right? But this their hero. This your hero. This the one you say can't do no wrong. This when we question it, they act like we racist and we misogynist. No, sick is sick. That's from Margaret Sanger, No Gods, No Masters by Bob Perry. It pays to be a professor. I don't gotta play with them. Just I don't speak mean. I don't speak IG. I speak APA. I speak MLA. I cite it. And I get excited. Oh, they don't like what I'm doing. Is y'all finished? Is y'all done? Shout out to Birdman. Let's keep the party going. So this is what you say. Let's trace some of this. Let's look at Henry Kissinger. Let's do Henry Kissinger first. Henry Kissinger was quoted saying, depopulation should be the highest priority of foreign policy toward the third world. Black and brown people. You know, that's what it means when they say it. You know. He ain't talking about Switzerland. He ain't talking about Sweden. That's why you saw the UK donating millions of pounds to forced sterilization in India, right? At the same time that Putin was giving away incentives and giving away money for couples to reproduce in Russia. So it ain't nothing to do with pro-life, pro-choice, and reproductive rights. You giving us stuff to disappear. You giving them stuff to, man. Depopulation, as Henry Kissinger, should be the highest priority of foreign policy toward the third world because, look how honest he is though about it, because the U.S. economy will require large and increasing amounts of minerals from abroad, especially from less developed countries. There's nothing to discuss and debate with these people once you reach. That's why John Henry Clark, master teacher, when he was talking in that so-called debate when Mary Lefkowitz and others was paid to write them nonsensical books against Martin Bernal with Black Athena, and John Henry Clark sat there, you know, with all poise as a master teacher would, and said, I only debate with my equals. All others I teach. You look right through people when they talking that stupid nonsense. Well, no, the way I feel, this ain't about how nobody feels, bro. This ain't about how nobody feels. Keep your feels for you and your lady or your partner. Henry Kissinger has been the U.S. National Security Advisor for every U.S. president since Eisenhower, except JFK. You know what happened to him. JFK didn't want Kissinger, quote, anywhere near the White House, right? Because, another quote, his policies are insane. That's JFK. But you know what happens when you go against it. I got a bunch of pictures of Hillary and everybody, Obama sitting with them and all that. George Galloway was quoted, public intellectual, said, Henry Kissinger is the greatest living war criminal in the world today, with the blood of millions of people in Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos and Chile and East Timor on his hands. He will never appear in court or be behind bars. We're too busy trying to lock up the ghost of Michael damn Jackson. I just added that last part, of course. That wasn't part. That wasn't part of the quote, but I had to put it in there. Okay. Real quick. The drug czar, right? The science czar. I want to read something to y'all. I read the plastic part already. But there's a book. I got the book. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to help y'all out. I'm going to hold the book up. I'm going to read the little commercial part right here. Right here. I got you. FlyNubianQueen.com and FlyNubianKingTV.com. Text Queens to 31996 to receive alerts and updates. Hit like, share, subscribe, keep it live. If you want to learn about your money, FlyNubianMoney.com. Want to learn about your business, FlyNubianBusiness.com. You want to shop for that gear? Well, you go here, shopfnq.com, and I'm going to show you why I'm showing you this book in a moment. It's Population Resources Environment, right? And it's the Ehrlichs, Paul and Ann Ehrlich. They're the ones who wrote that book, The Population Bomb. They're always talking about population control. They try to scare people like the Jehovah's Witnesses used to do with Charles Taze Russell, talking about the world's going to end, especially the white world, right? And then it didn't come true. People still running with it though, right? Overpopulation. Okay. So the issue with this is there's a different version of the book that costs hundreds of dollars with a slightly different title. And it has Obama's former science czar in there, John Holdren. So you type John Holdren, and then you type in Paul Ehrlich and Ann Ehrlich. You type in John Holdren, Holdren, and you'll see that there's another book that says almost the same exact title, but this time John Holdren's name was on it. And I'm reading an article right now that says Obama's science czar considered forced abortion, sterilization as population growth solutions. And he got a lot of kickback for that. He got a lot of pushback for being part of, this whole movement. And then he was like, then they wonder why. But let me tell you a little bit of what's in the book. And I'll read a little bit to you. It says, this is 1970, the book, adding a sterilant to the drinking water. This is in the book. These things are considered in the book. And you can get this one for like $5. This one's a little different without John Holt's name on it, but almost identical stuff is in the book, right? So sterilant by injection. I actually did a freeze frame of one of the pages in the book. It says non-steroid chemical methods about birth control, right? Variety of chemicals are in the process of being tested on laboratory animals in the hope of finding some that will not have the drawbacks of steroid compounds. But since many seem to act by influencing some part of the natural hormone system, it is not too surprising that similar side effects have occurred in association with some of them. Nevertheless, these abilities, which have only begun to be investigated, deserve careful examination, right? They say at least one folk method of contraception is being looked into. A South American weed, Stevia rhodiana. Stevia, S-T-E-V-I-A. This is 1970. They was considering putting stevia in stuff, or stevia, however they say it. And it says, but now it's in everything. S-T-E-V-I-A. Yeah, some of y'all sweeteners right now probably got stevia all in it. In 1970, you could get the book yourself. 1970 has traditionally been used by the Indians in Paraguay as a contraceptive. Each day, the women drink a cup. This was their birth control. Stevia was their birth control. Now they putting stevia in everything in 2000. From 2015 to now, I seen stevia everywhere. You can look it up in the book. The subheading is non-steroid chemical methods. This book is, I think this book was like shipping and handling. They had copies, used copies for like one or 2 cents. And then you type in John Holdren with these names on it, and you can see that John Holdren, the same one who was working with Obama as a science czar, was signed all into this nonsense. Just like with the eugenics movement, there was presidents involved. There was university presidents involved, right? Let's go. Keep this party going. We only got a little more time. In 1915, Sanger's 5-year-old daughter, Peggy, died of pneumonia. For years afterwards, she was haunted by dreams of infant girls and believed that she sometimes saw and spoke to Peggy. This chick is sick. This is sick. Put it this way, how did you miss this part of the story? Because people that write these flattering biographies about her, they had to read some of this too. Cherry picked all the negative, fed you nonsense, trained you like she said they should do to us black folks who don't want to read primary sources. So believe that she sometimes spoke and saw Peggy through occult rituals. Isn't that special, right? Peggy's death was the trigger for Sanger's journey into Rosicrucianism, a fashionable cultic spiritualism that she explored. Now, when people try to tell you that's a long time ago, why are you getting on Margaret Sanger? I'm going to give you one name. I'll make it easy for y'all. Just like when they tell you about Thales and Plato and Socrates, I told y'all, all you got to do is ask them who taught them. Because the Greeks were killing philosophers with the hemlock and they was killing philosophers. At the guillotine, they was killing philosophers. So if you got these great philosophers and you exiled them and you had them in slavery, one of them ended in slavery, right? So if you enslaving and murdering philosophers, they must not have went to school there, or you have a whole school full of people to kill. Where'd they learn? Then you learn that they went to Africa to study the feet of black masters. You don't got to know a bunch of quotes and citations. Just when you hear them names, Thales, Socrates, Plato, you ask, where did they learn their philosophy? That's why you got books like Stolen Legacy. Okay, this is all you need to know. When they start saying that Margaret's a long time, this is what you give them. I'm giving you the game. Alexander Sanger. That's it. That's all you got to say. And then you Google both names together. Alexander Sanger was the grandson of Margaret Sanger, who founded the birth control movement over 80 years ago. Margaret started the birth control movement. Alexander Sanger is her grandson. And at the time that this was written, he was currently the chair of the International Planned Parenthood Council and has served as a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations Population Fund. Some of y'all didn't even know there was such thing called a population fund. You think they throwing baby showers? Or you think they've given Bill Gates more vaccine? That's a whole different lecture. So yeah, Alexander Sanger, over half a century later, is still in charge. He was the chair of the International Planned Parenthood Council. Some of y'all didn't know that existed. There's a plan. You just wonder why they're in the hood so much and not in the suburbs as much, right? So people try to separate the legacy of eugenics and Margaret Sanger. Meanwhile, her grandson, just a few years ago, was the damn chair of the Planned Parenthood Council internationally, and sitting on this United Nations Population Fund. Is that where Putin got his money to give people money to have babies, or is that where they got the money from for the UK to give to India to force sterilization? They play. I got Ruth Bader Ginsburg quoting it with the population Let's do that. Let's do Paul Ehrlich. So the brother with the book, right? American biologist, best known for warnings about consequences of population growth and limited resources. He's been a professor of population studies in the Department of Biology at Stanford University and the president of Stanford Center for Conservation Biology. The dude's talking about population bomb and population growth and all these problems with the population up there at Stanford. So when some of y'all don't want to send y'all's people to African history classes, because I'll be arguing with the parents more than the students, trying to take some Black history classes. I teach in the Department of Africology and African American Studies, Temple University. They can get this talk, but no, they want to go to Stanford and study with Ehrlich, who might prefer them. Okay, I'll stop right there. Ehrlich became well known for his controversial 1968 book, The Population Bomb, which asserted that the world's human population would soon increase to the point where mass starvation ensued. Never happened. Amongst the measures he suggested in the book was population control to be used, in his opinion, if voluntary methods were to fail. So if you don't want to not have babies, we're going to help you not have babies, right? Population Explosion, another book. These are all books by the same people. Paul and Ann Ehrlich wrote The Population Bomb. Him and his wife, he found somebody just as interesting as him. The Population Explosion. You can just look type books with the Ehrlichs and you'll see it, right? You'll see all these books. And this is crazy. So there's a brother, I don't really want to call it brother. Let's go to this. The Rising Tide of Color by Lothrop Stoddard. The Rising Tide of Color. That's a book. The Rising Tide of Color by Lothrop Stoddard. It says the threat against white world supremacy. Like back in the day, the beauty of history is they're honest. Now everybody's politically correct and trying to play games and not tell the truth. This book was actually played upon in the movie rendition recently of The Great Gatsby, where they had a conversation at the dinner table, and he talks about, but let me go to this. FlyNubianQueen.com and FlyNubianKingTV.com, our growing network for men. Text Queens to 31996. I'm about to say, bro, that don't sound right. I'm looking at it, so it don't look right either. Please take a second to like, subscribe, share, do all that. Button, right? And if you want to learn about your money, Fly Nubian Money, your business, Fly Nubian Business. And if you want to shop and get your shopping poppin', shop FNQ.com. I don't know if y'all can tell my jingle abilities. I enjoy doing the commercials almost as much as I enjoy giving the information. But yeah, for the good cause. So this notion of getting them out the matrix to understand, because to me, one of the big parts is recognizing that somebody don't like you. I had a conversation today with somebody. I said, I was talking about like 25. I said, you were like 4 years old when Michael Jackson first started getting investigated on charges in 1993. You got to do research. You can't have Leaving Neverland as your primary document when there's no evidence, no balanced perspective, and it's 20-something years after the first allegation. Like, you can't do that. There's people like 22 talking about, I'm muting Michael Jackson. What are you talking about? You're not going to mute Jerry Lee Lewis for marrying his damn cousin. You're not going to mute Elvis for marrying a 14-year-old. And here you got Michael Jackson that was on trial. The feds came with black lights and everything to Neverland. They ain't find all them stains he was talking about. The boy talking about, we was everywhere and had sex. We did it with, like green eggs and ham. We had sex in a boat. We had sex in a boat. We had sex in a goat. He had sex on my throat. I was like, no. I remember when they rushed up into Neverland, they made Michael strip down at one point and took pictures of all his body parts. And if they could find it, the DA had it out for him, trying to use him as a stepping stone on some Bill Cosby stuff. Like, they wanted to get Michael Jackson and his money. They didn't win. People who commit crimes every day get off, and we leave them alone. Unless it's OJ. But no, to recognize somebody don't like you. Because if you open up these floodgates and you let them start trying the ghost of people, while real people are getting raped and abused. I talked about the ICE situation before. 5,800 people, children that are detained, separated from their families, have reported being sexually abused. Now we got like 2,000 something cases of mumps and measles, people being quarantined. It's a complete fiasco. People being systematically abused and neglected, and they don't even know where the families are to reconnect them when the time comes. But meanwhile, they want me to think but it's just a test to see how much game can I spit to you. It's almost like you in a club lying to a girl. You want to see how far you could go. Like, yeah, you know I'm Drake's cousin, right? Yeah. And she believe it. She say, yeah, I actually wrote half his stuff. You just go for it. Like, you just tell you, she a Tatiana. You just keep talking. Like, if you that dumb, let me try this too, right? That's how they doing us right now. You gonna let us get him too? What about Michael? We can get Michael? Oh, okay. Who's next? Y'all should tell me that. Who y'all think is next? Because when Bill Cosby got the verdict, I said R. Kelly should leave the country. I said that the next day. But right now, I'm really trying to figure out who's next. Is it the memory of Dr. King? Because that seems to be like the end game for them for a long time. Like the alt-right, they just want us to know that Dr. King had after parties, Dr. King used the N-word, Dr. King smoked cigarettes. Okay. And what? But they want that. Chris Brown, yeah. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Chris Brown might be next. Who said that? Trinity Supreme Powers. Chris Brown might be next. Because he's like, they called him the new Michael Jackson of his time. Kobe, you think they'll come back for Kobe? You think they'll come back for Kobe, y'all? You think they'll come back for Kobe? Depending on how much we like him and how much he associates with us and how much he does for us. Because you see, they left Michael Jordan alone. They gave him that warning. Just like they gave Bill Cosby that warning. Warning shots, right? But once you chill out, once you say hands up, don't shoot, I ain't gonna fight that fight no more, they leave you alone sometimes. They just, they move on to get somebody else the Farrakhan litmus test. Talking about, do you know Farrakhan? He listens to speech on YouTube. Do you like him? Right? They too busy being scared and insecure. So no, one of the things that I always say, that this thing about race is not a zero-sum game, but racism is. Racism is. For these people to not realize and recognize that they come from Black people. How do you mistreat people you come from? That's like going to a family reunion and just smacking people and knocking people down. Like, those are your ancestors. Those are your elders. You come from Black people. Whether you Chinese or Dominican, whatever you calling yourself, all them Black people want to say that they're a language and not a people. I'm Latin, like whatever. I'm English then, whatever. Like, no. Kobe, Chris Brown, or me, right? If y'all keep logging on, they're gonna be like the rapping professor. And what they always say, they say you're a drug user, they question your sexuality and appropriateness around young people. Then they say you got an arrest record. What's the top 5? I'm trying to think. Well, with some people they try to say I don't got no white wife, but they'll say what was it? Nate Parker. It was like Nate Parker was found innocent 17 years ago. And that Turner movie, they said we not. They got the sisters. What Stephen Biko who said that the most powerful weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Stephen Biko. Shouts out Steve Biko. Shouts out Steve Biko. The most powerful weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Because if they can't get us to like it, I tell y'all, in the advertising, they call it the cool factor. If me and people like me ain't feeling it, I promise y'all, it's only so far it's going to go. Because I talk to the soldiers on the ground daily. I'm in these colleges and these high schools and on these streets and in these back blocks daily. They know that if it's a choice, it ain't no choice. They know that job getting lost. They know that record getting longer. That dossier file getting deeper. I'm gonna have that's why I love Malcolm so much. I mean, even when Malcolm had problems within the nation, had problems with law enforcement, had problems saying he was getting followed going to Mecca, I never thought Malcolm didn't love us. I thought Malcolm had issues with other entities, right? People are human. Things happen. We learn from other people's situations, right? That's why I would never turn against any of my teachers, just because I know my enemy wants me to. Not that I wouldn't disagree with my teachers, but I do it in private, decent and in order. There's a way to move and still be strategic militarily, even if there's dissension amongst the ranks. And these are type of jewels and tools that need to be taught. So I always give all proper due respect to the great Dr. Molefe Kete Asante, the chair of the Department of Africology and African American Studies at Temple University, who created the first PhD program, doctoral program for African American Studies in the entire world. There's no emotion on the planet that would ever have me turn my back or say an unkind word against that man. As long as I live, and even after I'm gone, don't let them revise and remix and Photoshop nothing I ever wrote or said. Don't put me in Pro Tools and play games. There's no possibility. Boyce Watkins, same way. Gave me an opportunity to be on a platform like this. You will never, I don't care if we had a falling out. You won't know. You won't know. I heard Professor Griff talking like that about Brother Khalid Muhammad. People go their separate ways, but ain't nothing to talk about. We ain't never going to social media. People need to man up, man. Like, man up. You talk to that man. And you keep it pushing. You don't go out here airing it out like you Wendy Williams. Some kind of nut. You got grown men that used to be in the game for 20 years, did Fed time, caught bodies, doing tell-all books, and doing silly little girly blogs. So let me tell you what happened. Shut up. Because they're using that for strategy. You think in terms of statute of limitations, they thinking about future strategy. I don't give no ammunition to my enemy unless it's the ammunition that I'm popping at them with this information. Pick up them shells and try to fire them back. That's what you could do after you watch these videos. FlyNubianQueen.com. Log on. FlyNubianKingTV.com. Type Queens to 31996 so you can be in the mix with the texts and alerts and get your fix. I'll do the curtain blow on there. Please take 1 second right now to hit like, share, or subscribe. And you need your business right. Is Fly Nubian Business. You need your money right. FlyNubianMoney.com. And if you want to shop and get it popping, shop FMNQ.com. I ain't do no bars today. I usually do the bars. That's how you get the young people. Young people, they speak that language. Elvis Presley married a 14-year-old. I said it. Where's the documentary? I want to mute it. That's what I'm talking about. And that's all we got to do. We got to be ignorant about it. We got to be, the fact that we're able to just talk our talk, when you hear them 12-year-olds cursing on the bus and it hurts your ears and your heart and your spirit, we got to find a way to challenge that courage because they bold, y'all. I'm not saying they're appropriate. I'm not saying that they ain't dominated by an ungodly spirit. It's demonic forces. But if we can take that same energy, what the devil meant for evil, I hate a coon that's scared to be himself, see? I hate a gold digger only wants you if you're wealthy. I hate an MC that always need a punchline. I hate fake thugs that's scared to move at crunch time. I hate George Bush, hate Condoleezza and Hillary. I hate teachers that lie on African history. I hate white cops that brutalize us black men and hate black cops to be scared to take action. Hate the Ku Klux Klan, hate my foes. I hate Bohemian Grove. I hate Skull and Bones. Hate those that don't know. Hate is in y'all Bibles. Ecclesiastes 3:8. Here's y'all revival. A time to love and a time to hate. And a time for war and a time for peace. It's time you realize, open your eyes and see it. Because I ain't got time for haters hating on me. I hate those that don't appreciate truth. And if this applies to y'all, I hate you. The true spirit is broken and religion stolen. And if I try to speak the truth, they're like, hold it, fam. Forget your past. Yo, focus on cash flow. Well, now we young, rich, and lost. So they asked for it. Don't lace up your boots. Put on a vest and shoot. But put this ribbon on your chest and support our troops. Want to get mad at him, said I just laugh at him. Like thinking that Live 8 really helped out Africa. You ate Africa, you saved Africa, you hate Africa, you raped Africa. Before they think I'm some bitter black man beefing, give them a dozen reasons we be seeing through their treason. Greedy lean on the needy, not giving them what they need. And they heard them like Halliburton, the beers, the diamonds, the evils, skulls, the bones, and the secrets, Luciferian pieces, preachers of paganism. They hate that I be like Jesus, despite the truth that I'm speaking. Multitudes of the people deny the true relevance of this conspiracy theory. Know they hearing me clearly. I know they fearing me dearly. It's seriously scary how many people really with me. Know the world gonna feel me. I know they gonna try to kill me like Timothy. Fight that good fight till enemies come and get me. Enemies acting friendly, offending me, but I'm chilling. Playing up my position to win position to hit them. Fear no man, no, not any. For most of y'all, I feel pity. Oh, ye of little faith. I wouldn't take this game and redeem it. See the meaning? I'm fearless. Please acknowledge the realist. I give y'all a different feeling, and all of them other spitters addicted to competition. They all want to rock. Competition sending mischief equals somebody popped. Bigger figures feel indignant in attempts to be hot. They feel like it's 97 when they ended up shot. Oh, B.I.G., R.I.P. But they do the same things that help them D.I.E. And all I see, drug deals, key by key, and in these hip-hop police trying to stop our cream, which leaves another broken home. Not because we toting chrome, just because we failed to see the enemies that focus on us before we was a fetus, too young and dumb to see it. When you like 20, getting money in a large arena, when your pocket's thick, then you targeted. Hey, one day you might just smarten up, start to flip, realize you've been a puppet, pull out, start dumping, or even worse, nation building, organize the public. The devil gonna hate it. My people gonna love it because that's the only way we ever gonna own something. No fronting. I'm the one that they fear. Fear less. Hear this. I'ma kill it this year. Your dads get bagged for G-packs of crack. Come back. They all act like he fought in Iraq. And boys in Iraq is watching they back. Forced to stay strapped because shrapnel rich flat jackets. They packing pipes of payback. Bombs over Baghdad ain't just a Dre rap. A world away cats with black and gray caps. Raid the PJs for cash and they dash. Back to they stash, left mash and spray max, they task away tash, shake cases in case that stash get snatched back in the raid that they fled, stay fed, cake bread, chasing they clams, matrix shake them, raise their hate feds, and yet on the back of that rusty revolver is the eye of a child who used to cry for his father. Now we foul wilding out, and often the author of the most misogynistic violence he could conjure. They wouldn't bother, now they bother because I'm being honest. Living mirror of that terror that they put upon us. Minimize our contribution. Truth is we enormous. The Earl man, the go to rap is is back to claim its honors. My lines are shining, my rhymes are blinding, my mind's a diamond. My mind and silence a comet, a shining sign. I got it. Your highness riding 9-5 and I'm hyped up while I'm driving, exciting, tight, and my pen always enlightens when I got it. Your mind is minor. You rhyme about violence, bringing drama, gyrating mamas or putting diamonds on your incisors. I ain't arguing what hip hop is. I wonder why they in this hip hop biz. See, as for me, I be bringing and singing my single, singing a song of freedom. Me being seen as a real one is all I'm needing. Ain't gotta hate on rappers. Want to battle? Save it, rapper. We on the map. We brought it back for all my favorite rappers and my fly Nubian queens, my fly Nubian kings, flynubianqueens.com. Log on, flynubiankingtv.com. Doing our thing. Log on, like, subscribe, share. Yeah, you see me here, the rapping professor. Nobody do it better. Aaron Smith. Google me, man. Doing what I do live from Temple University, Department of Africology and African American Studies. Boys, you got one. You got one, boys. We rocking. Let go. Peace.